From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings Lalate.
It's a big early morning of Mornings in LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In today's recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why you're likely to get more months of checks from the Democrats. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people. And if you're a Purple Hawk, if you're a subscriber, you are more prepared to get these application-based checks than anyone else. And I'm going to show you how to get prepared to get them. Then we cut to the voting process. As the voting process heats up, now sooner and easier than initially revealed. I have the breaking news on this early morning's broadcast. Then we cut to the big money across the board that viewers continue to get. $5, $10, $15, $20,000 we initially started for under third stimulus. Now people getting $40,000, $50,000. And in this recording this morning, you meet one person who got over $100,000 from these application-based items under the stimulus packages. I show you how to get them as well. And get ready to get them because we're going into fourth stimulus. This is Early Mornings LA. The weekend is still upon us, but just one more day. Hope your Sunday is going well. Hope the weather is great where you are. Saturday started beautiful here in Southern California. Got a little bit hot by Sunday afternoon, but still better. Let's hope for the best weather today as well. Jump on the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, we'll be going over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people. And if you've been a viewer for this channel for a while, you have learned how to get money. Because fourth stimulus will generally be all application-based money. I'm going to show you how to get the skill set to get the money now into third stimulus. So you're ready to get it onto fourth. Then we cut to the voting process and the passage. Voting is sooner than initially thought, and passage will be easier than initially reported. I have the breaking news on this early morning's broadcast. Then we cut to fifth stimulus as well, which raises your benefits up if you're on SSI and SSDI. And then, yes, that big money that viewers are getting. We're now seeing that viewers are learning really big skill sets of how to get massive sums of money under these stimulus packages. And you'll meet one viewer who got over $100,000 from this channel. You'll learn how to do this as well. And this is LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America, live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto on this show. Stay here. It'll automatically take you there. You don't have to lift a finger. Sort of like Chuck Schumer. It'll automatically take you there. Then at 9 a.m., live on air with Mornings LA. 9:45, Mornings Crypto live on air. And then noontime at 11 a.m. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers for a reason. The fastest growing channel of its kind. And next up, 1 million. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you for all the incredible subscriber growth and membership growth. Nearly 200 members a day sometimes across the board. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. See why this community is growing faster than anywhere else. And with that, let's get to those monthly stimulus checks. House versus Senate, Senate versus House, starting right now. They are both monthly, and they are both different for both the number checks and the payouts. House pandemic plus 1 year, Senate July to December. Then we go over the payouts, $1,000 for the House after the first month, Senate unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Deliciousness. $2,000 over 6 months, $1,200, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. The breaking news overnight, of course, is the approval of the third shot for the vaccine. The third shot was approved by CDC following the FDA agreement, and this is for certain people to start, and then more people will be approved for it thereafter. Incredible great news because the pandemic's not over. That House bill would likely pay the full extent of pandemic plus 1 year, which would be more than 12 checks, which would be more than $13,000, which is more than $13,000 over 12 years. Compare that to this in the Senate. I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. Jump on the live chat right now and vote House or Senate, House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Who gets this fourth stimulus check? You do. The Democrats represent that. If you got the fourth, you got the third, you get the fourth. Single individual, $75,000 or less. Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less. Democrats represent, you get one as well. Double it. Family of four, Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Democrats represent, you get one as well. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. Be the same amount for adult dependents and everyone else. And the fourth stimulus check is not a waivable check. So if you go out to the beach today and you notice something in the beach that looks sort of green and soggy, it's the check. It can't swim because it has no arms. It's a check. So if you wave at the check, hey, check, how are you? And it doesn't wave back, guess what? It's not a waivable check. It's also a soggy check. It's it doesn't bounce because it's soggy. I guess that's good because you know what a bounce check. And there you go. In the second half of this video, we will be cutting to the fourth stimulus recon. Wow. Incredible great news. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you under the American people under the fourth stimulus recon. We had a first stimulus that was this big, second stimulus was this big, a third stimulus was this big, and the fourth is this big. And it's all checks for you. And how do you get these checks? They're application-based. I'm going to go over that in a second. And then in the third part of this video, we go to the voting process and why it's going to be faster and sooner and easier. But first, fifth stimulus, and also, let's get some money. Get that pen and paper ready because we're going to get some rent, utilities, food, and internet starting right now. And boy, why is this so important? Because third stimulus was predominantly application-based. And fourth stimulus is going to be predominantly application-based. And if you're killing it on third stimulus, you're going to kill it on fourth stimulus. Because people will be looking at you saying, hey, how did he get all that money under fourth stimulus? Because I learned how to get it under third stimulus. So get that pen and paper ready. Let's get some money. We're going to get started with some rent, utilities, food, and internet. And when we talk about pouncing and getting these application-based money, we start with the rent. I said for rent, I can get you about 4 to 6 months of rent. Well, you have shown all of us that you can get a lot more. How much are viewers getting? Purple Hawks, members of this channel, here we go. Wow, $27,000 obtained by Elizabeth. $25,000 obtained by Mark. Mark's telling his neighbors, he tells me, that this kid, Lalate, is the real deal. He says, watch this kid, watch his videos. He's teaching people how to get money under these stimulus packages because they're there. Don't sit with your hand out like a donut guy. It ain't coming. You got to apply. And Mark's neighbor, who never heard of this, applied and got $20,000. Went from nothing to $20,000 by applying. Nancy, $24,000. Richard, $22,000. Nisi, $20,000. If you have a success story, send me a DM on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and I'll read it on air. And these are the messages coming on in. Pamela reports to me she got $12,000 in rent. Hey, Pamela. Carla got utilities. Tiffany got $13,000 in rent and SNAP, and also some utilities. Randy got $6,000 for rent and also some utilities. Jennifer got $5,000 for rent and also some utilities and SNAP. And Cecilia got $1,200 for heap. That's a heap of heap. And here are some people getting a heap of utilities. Not $300, but bam, $7,000 for utilities. Wow. Nancy got $7,000 for utilities. Mark, $6,500. Angela, $5,000. Snap, which many people have never heard of before this channel. Viewers are getting big sums of money. How big? $5,000. Let's try $17,000, $18,000. Louie, whoa. Congratulations. He got $18,000 for Snap. John, $10,000 to $12,000, and Nancy, $5,000. And finally, people with the triple crown, not horse racing, but stimulus. People got rent, utilities, and food and internet. Rent, utilities, and food. Here you go. Are you ready for this one? Can I hear a drum roll? Nancy, wow, $32,000 she got for rent, utility, and SNAP. Nisi, $23,000 for the same 3 items. And Mark, $32,000 for 2 items. 2 items. Wait a second. 2 items, Mark. 32 for 2 items. That's what I saw on air for a week. I said, wait a second, Mark. 32,000 for 2 items. Where's the third, Mark? And I saw on air, Mark, you gotta apply for SNAP. SNAP doesn't just show up in your hand, not like a donut guy. It ain't gonna land there. You gotta go apply for it. It's easy. It's SNAP. That's why it's called SNAP. It's a SNAP. And Mark went and applied for SNAP. I said get $8,000 maybe, bring you to $40,000. Such a wonderful number with a lot of zeros in it. Well, Mark got SNAP approved within just days. It was that easy. He applied. It's not difficult to apply for stuff. Mark showed us. He got it within 7 days of me recording to tell him to go get it. How much did he get? $8,000? No. more, 10 more, 11 more, $19,000. He got approved for annualized in just a few days after I started recording it. That's the power of Purple Power. Getting $50,000, 500 as an application-based push of the Purple Power, not a donut guy holding your hand out waiting for a donut. And this is Lalate. And we've been doing this since day one. We've never been donut guys on this channel. In spring of last year, people applied for EIDL loans and EIDL grants, but then suddenly saw their applications in a stall mode, what I call the vortex of 330, 331, and 48. I said, you got to get out of the stall mode. Let me fix your applications. And together we worked as a team. On air, I went through their applications, figured them out on air. Off camera, I was doing applications with them in the middle of the night, trying to figure out why their applications were stalled. They pushed. They didn't just hold their hand out and say, where's my check in my hand? They put the effort in. I put the effort in. And we got $25 million of EIDL loans approved. I was doing 10 applications a day at some point, $150,000 a pop. In fall of 2020, second stimulus checks are not coming. And in some places, it was hard to get rent. But I got viewers, $250,000 of rent. Tyrone and his family flew out of Boston, got $15,000 of rent. Tyrone made the call and got the rent, even at a time in which people said maybe Boston wasn't paying rent. He pushes a Purple Power. He made the application happen, and he applied and got that money, paying all his rent to this new spring. And now you're doing the same thing. You've been doing it since January and launched the Purple Hawks on this channel. I said, hey, pounce and get this application money under third stimulus. Don't track the $600 stimulus check. You're going to spend it and wonder where the next check is. And now you're doing such an incredible job. So if you just found this channel, you're new to this channel, or someone sent you over and you never heard of this before, or you started to listen to it and you haven't gotten the money, get that pen and paper ready. I'll show you how to get the money right now. There are first some introductory comments. First, each place has different eligibility. So reach out to the one, reach out to each one. If one says no, reach out to the next. Different eligibility, also different pots of money. And then second, every state is paying. There's no state that's not paying. So let's take that out of the discussion. It's false narrative. Number three, there is no place that cuts people off after a certain age. So don't be one of those people who say there's no money for anyone over 60 years old. Untrue. Number three, there's no money unless you have children. Untrue. Let's take out all these fake narratives and just focus on the details. Applying. And then finally listen to those keywords, because the keywords apparently help people get approved. All right, listen. These are places you're going to reach out to. Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. Your state hall, your state house authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. That's all you say. You don't add words to the equation, and you don't say things they don't know, like stimulus or Mitch's popularity contest. They don't know those words, so don't say them. And there you go. And congratulations to everyone who got money for rent and utilities. If you did as well, post a live chat like Tim and Linda got as well. Let's cut to SNAP. SNAP is money for food. Eligibility is a SNAP. It's easier than a stimulus check. Why would you not get it? SNAP you get from Department of Agriculture. Reach out to them. Eligibility is about the same as a stimulus check. How much does it pay? Well, Glenn got it for herself and her son and mom. Gail got it. John got 10 to 12,000. Mark got 19,000. Louis got 18,000. Family of four out of Hawaii gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because of two executive orders. One from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. And if you got Snap, post in live chat. Well, we're killing it. We are only 13 minutes of this video. We're flying. And we've gotten $27,000 for rent. We've gotten $19,000 of Snap. We've gotten $8,000 for utilities. And the next pot of the money is the money coming back from your states. This is coming automatically, ironically, and it's coming to the direct deposit. So you can't be a donut guy for this one. But if you want to track it, contact your state and say, hey, state, where's that check due to overpayment and a computer error? And when you track it, can you turn on the computer? Sir, I did not do that yet. Turn on the computer, dude. And then finally, the refund check coming back from from the IRS. So this is that refund check of that 2020 taxes you paid taxes on of unemployment benefits. Marco got it, Michael got it. And where's it landing? It's direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. And it's a waivable check. There's a new check every week, direct deposit. More about that in a second. But first, a personal message. You're killing it. But make sure you post your success stories in the live chat. When you do, you help people a lot of ways. The number one new way you really help people is we're refocusing people, and you're doing an incredible job. People are now realizing There is money in these stimulus packages for you to apply for. And if you don't apply for it, you're missing the biggest paydays. 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 100,000. You're missing big paydays if you don't apply. And when I read you the success stories, and when they see the success stories in the live chat, then they realize, wait a second, I missed something. I should have been applying for this stuff. Why have I not been applying for this stuff? I have a rent bill, and these other people getting their rent paid. I should be getting it. So you inspire people. When I put up this graphic, they realize this is not $10. This is a lot of money for people's rent. It's rent in the past. It's rent going forward. So you inspire people. Both your success stories. Second, people realize that there's money out there that they never knew of. A lot of people have never heard of SNAP. And then they watch this channel and they realize, pay for my food? Really? Larry Maui out of Maui never heard of it. He got $500 after just a few days of watching this channel. Paid all SNAP for the rest, as long as he so wishes. And then you inspire us by getting multiple sums of money, what I call the Triple Crown. Nisi and Art Sullivan got 3 items and inspired Nancy to get 3 items. Mark had gotten 2, now he got inspired. And finally, you update us about the numbers. Finally, we realized the numbers are even bigger and bolder than we even thought. All right, let's go back to those unemployment benefits. Where are they landing? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track them? Yeah, go to iris.gov and do a transcript search. And 70% of the time it'll work. It'll reveal the refund check it will reveal the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid. It will then reveal 70% of the time stuff you really wish you had never seen. Like Mitch, when he was on Star Search and he wore teal. Was that the teal monster's doing? And then it'll reveal the refund check you're getting. Can we top that? Yes, as we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update 2021, starting right now. Deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are slated to come to the American people under the fourth stimulus recon. This is what the Republicans call Democratic spending, or the spending bill, or social service checks. Why do the Republicans really not like it? Because it's checks for you. Lots and lots and lots of checks. And if you've been getting checks for these application-based items under third stimulus, you're ready to pounce for them under fourth stimulus. The biggest single payout you've ever seen on this channel. Let's go over what's happened. First stimulus this big. Second stimulus this big. Third stimulus this big. Fourth stimulus this big. A lot of room to put a lot of checks in there. And what's also important to understand is that the previous stimulus packages were nearly 90% for corporations. This one is all for the American people. So there's room to put stimulus checks in there and room to put all these other checks that are application-based. And you want to pounce because application-based checks are always the biggest payout across the board. How do we get to the spot? By taking roads and bridges out of the recon, putting the roads into the bipartisan. A conservative publication confirms in my reporting. The higher the price tag was on the recon originally, the harder it was to pass. There you go. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon, roads and bridges, and put in the bipartisan, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller, obviously. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable, and the recon made the bipartisan passable. And now they've both been passed by the U.S. Senate. So what did they do? Here's something you're only going to hear on this channel, is that the Democrats of both the House and the Senate had been meeting with the White House far before this ever started, agreeing upon a recon price, $3.5 trillion. So when this recon lands in the House, it's not a surprise to the House members. They already agreed to that $3.5 trillion a long time ago. And that was the big and bold number that they wanted. Representative Richie Torres said we have to have a larger recon. You got it, $3.5 trillion passed. And Representative Elon Omar says we have to have a recon that goes as far as we want. You got it, Elon, $3.5 trillion passed. The progressives were told by the White House to protect my recon because everything that's in that recon for the president, his recon, is progressive checks for you. Brian Schatz, Democrat, and Jalapal were both confirming that the White House told them the White House considers the progressive priorities in the recon the White House's priorities. And there you go. So what is a recon? What is a bipartisan? What is a recon procedural and what is a recon substantive? Let me go over all the details. Remember, the president has made very clear, his Oval Office desk, you must put on it 2 pieces of legislation at the same time. The recon, your money, and the bipartisan, not your money, the roads and bridges. You must put both of them there. He will not sign one without the other. They both have to be there. So you can't just ask for just recon. You have to hope that they do the bipartisan, and you can't just hope for the bipartisan. You have to do the recon. So let me go over the separation of the 2 items so you understand them starting right now. What is a recon? A recon is your money, also called reconciliation, also called the budget bill, also called the Democratic spending plan, also called the progressive social social spending program, or green or New Deal, New Deal is another expression that's coming out lately. $3.5 trillion price tag. Bipartisan, also called roads and bridges, also called infrastructure, price tag $1.5 trillion. We got three bills we're dealing with: recon procedural, then recon substantive, and then bipartisan. What is the difference between recon substantive and recon procedural? Step one, recon procedural. Very, very, very basic and easy to understand. You're just agreeing upon a price tag and who splits the money in the government. So step one, what's the total price tag? $3.5 trillion? I agree. Okay, done. What's the next question? The next question is, of the $3.5 trillion, how are we going to split it among congressional committees? $10 for this committee and $20 for that committee. Okay, done. Passed. So that's all they're doing with the recon. The total price tag and how much each congressional committee gets of that. Well, then once recon procedural is passed, then they do recon substantive. And recon substantive asks, okay, now that the committee has been given $10, how can the committee spend the money? How is the committee spending the money? Who is it spending on? When is it spending the money on? And how does it work? There you go. Pretty simple. How did we get to this wonderful spot? From Jalapal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying, Chuck called the vote on the recon. The letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of 100-plus House Democrats, who recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Wow, Purple Power. You got to push and make sure these keep their promise. And can we top that? Yes. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Subcommittee recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Purple Power, you got to push and make sure these people keep their promise. Can we top that as well? Yes, we can. As Biden did it, he went overseas 7 weeks ago for a ceremonial signature, and the real signature was a few days ago. It's for something called the Global Minimum Corporate Tax Rate. And now it doesn't have to be in the recon because it's somewhere else, making it easier to do the recon. One, easier to write the recon, easier to vote for the recon, easier to call the vote on the recon, and easier to pass the recon because this confusing thing is not in there. Can we top that? Yes. As we go into the second part of this video, the final 15 minutes of this video, we'll be going over why the recon is now easier to pass and quicker to pass. The breaking news on Early Mornings LA today. Then we'll go over why people who have gotten these big sums of money under third stimulus are now prepared to get the big sums of money under fourth stimulus recon, and why you need to be ready to pounce. And then we'll go over the surprising details about fifth stimulus. But meantime, if you have problems finding that money for rent, utilities, food, or internet more, always try to find it yourself first. But if you can't find it, reach out to the volunteers. Where are they? On the community page. Open the description of this video. Go down the description. You'll see an emoji of a house. Click the link. It sends you over to the community page. It's news.la.com/community. Here's a little bit about them, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as Early Mornings LA continues with the final 15. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Daily for the excitement of the new LA live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LA at 9 a.m. Home LA returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA. And the excitement continues right now. Now on Early Mornings LA, the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, and the coffee is brewing. How are you doing? It's a big Sunday. I'm so excited for you to join me on a big day across the board. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto. Stay on this video, it'll automatically take you there. You don't have to lift a finger, sort of like Chuck Schumer. And then at 9 a.m. mornings, Lalate. 9:30, 9:45 mornings Crypto live on air, and noontime at 11 a.m. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record, fastest growing channel of its kind. At next stop, 1 million. Thank you for all the incredible subscriber growth over the last few days. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Thank you for all the incredible new members who are joining daily, loving the Purple Hawks that are joining by the hour. Meantime, the President of the United States, when running for the highest office in the land, said he was going to raise your benefits up. He did not deliver. Then he said during the transition papers he did not deliver then either. Now the Democrats are vowing to take care of this for you in what is called fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus starts in September, just a few days away from now. It raises your benefits up, doing the SSI, SSDI reform. And then it applies a benchmark in December, which also raises your benefits up a little bit more. Let's go over all the calculations. First, they'll raise your benefits up. Then they'll remove the asset limit, add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over how this works starting right now. Who is this for? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries. Step one is they'll raise your benefits up lifetime. Then they'll apply the new benchmark. When do they apply that benchmark? In December. That benchmark is going to be inflation. Where's inflation going? It's going to be transitory. Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, says it's going to spike in December. Yes, right when they apply the benchmark. Great time in. So how high is inflation going to go? Well, I've been reporting it's going to hit that spike of 5% and then come right back down. Let's go with that number. First, they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime, then they'll apply the benchmark. And if the benchmark is 5%, your benefits will step up another 5%. Not just next year, a lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says the income cap that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to do a pair dance at your own wedding. You'll no longer fear loss of benefits. And if your benefits were canceled, they'll be restored. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married. Now, I do know that a lot of you have seen new reports that say the Social Security Administration indicates your benefits will raise up 6% next year. Well, that is COLA. COLA, this legislation proposes to replace with inflation. COLA is horrible. COLA doesn't move, and 6% is nothing to celebrate about because 6% is after many years of your benefits never moving. So COLA is set to be replaced with inflation. Meantime, are you wondering about that fifth stimulus check? Yes, the Democrat House Ways and Means member represent, they're going to be giving you one in that fifth stimulus package as well. Finally, if you're in the live chat and you're not a Purple Hawk, and you notice the people have an emoji of a Purple Hawk next to their name, what are you doing? You need to become a Purple Hawk because daily for the community page on YouTube, I break down to you and deliver to you via the YouTube community page a breakdown of all the big money for you to get under third stimulus, second stimulus, proposed for fourth, and proposed for fifth. This is the difference. When a $600 stimulus check was proposed on the second stimulus package in December of last year, I said, sure, but don't say focus on $600. You're going to get it, spend it, and then wonder where the next check is. It ain't going to cut it. I said there's a lot more money than $600 in a second stimulus package. And that's what Tyrone did. He focused on what I said was available for him, and he got $15,000 for rent for his family out of Boston. Then, when third stimulus passed, $1,400, I launched Purple Hawks. Why? And why the name Purple Hawks? To describe people who pounce and get the big application-based money that is in these stimulus packages. At the time, I said, sure, there's a $1,400 stimulus check. It's going to land. Big deal. It's going to land. But there's $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 of money in this stimulus package for you to get. I want you to get it. At the time, people thought I was crazy. They really did. They said, oh, it's just $1,400. I said, no, it's a lot more money that you're going to get under these third stimulus packages. And once the money started landing and the snowballing started happening, people started pouncing. People getting $5,000, then $10,000, then $20,000, then $32,000, then $50,000, and now $100,000. So consider becoming a member. The link's under the video so you learn how to get all this big money under third stimulus. And away we go in the final 15 minutes of this video, starting right now. Deal done. Fourth stimulus will be providing you a bigger payout than you've ever seen in the history of this channel. We've had first stimulus, then we've had second, and then we've had third, about this big. Fourth stimulus is this big. And while the previous stimulus packages were all consumed with money for U.S. corporations, nearly 8% of it, this one is all for you. Bernie Sanders has spent a generation to get these checks to you. The Republicans can't stand the checks. Why? Because they say they're just checks for the American people, but they shouldn't be getting checks. Well, guess what? They're your checks. Now, the difference with fourth stimulus is most of the checks, like third stimulus, are application-based. So, when fourth stimulus becomes law, donut guy, most of the money, the big payments of the money, donut guy gets Zippo, like he got under third stimulus. Third stimulus, the donut guy got $1,400. But donut guy didn't get $50,000 or $40,000 or $30,000 or even anything over $2,000 from third stimulus, because most of the big money under third stimulus was application-based. The great news is that if you have learned under this channel how to get the big money from third stimulus, you are ready to get the big money under fourth stimulus. That's why I always say to you, get the money under third stimulus yourself before you do the community page. I want you to enhance those skill sets so you know how to do this. Because when fourth stimulus becomes law, you're going to get big sums of money. This is the same thing as how this channel launched initially. When EIDL grants and EIDL loans were starting to ramp up, people needed to learn how to do it correctly. And I was teaching them, this is how you fix it to get the money. If you just filed an EIDL grant and just say, hey, I'm automatically getting money, you're getting not approved because you weren't learning how to pounce and do it correctly. Now, what are the checks in the fourth stimulus? We don't know that yet because it is simply only proposed. It's not definitive. But here are some of the items they're proposing in addition to the checks that we've already talked about on this channel. Free school meals for all checks, tax-based checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, immigration reform checks, farming checks, internet checks, free internet across the board, lots of checks for workers and seniors, checks for workers, checks for independent contractors, checks for seniors like dental, vision, and hearing care checks, lowering the eligibility age for seniors, and more. Here's how the federal government looks at you, especially under fourth stimulus. It looks at you as a person who has a lot of bills, and maybe you got 7 bills of the following: rent, utilities, mortgage, internet, homeowners' utilities, and then the car on the driveway needs fixing and the roof on the house needs fixing. Well, the federal government under fourth stimulus package would never fix the car and would never fix the roof, but would love to fix the first 5 items. And you're not going to get a check automatically in the mail if you don't do anything to get those first 5 items. You're going to have to apply to get these first 5 items approved. And that's how they're doing these stimulus packages. They did it with the third, and they're doing it with the fourth. And so that is why the fourth is so exciting. Because under the third, imagine viewers are getting $30,000 routinely. Imagine how much money you could get under fourth stimulus, where they revisit the same subject matters again. All right, then let's turn to the voting process. So the voting process started this last week with recon procedural starting in the Senate. Again, recon procedural is very basic. It just says what price tag for the whole thing and how are we splitting the price among the different committees. Recon procedural, when it lands in the Senate, is going to pass in the House, is going to pass in a second because they've already agreed upon the price tag beforehand. So let's go over dates across the board. We have some firm dates and we have some proposed dates from these legislators. Firm dates start with August 23rd. Kevin McCarthy, Steny Hoyer in the House confirms that August 23rd is a firm date for the recon procedural to be approved by the House of Representatives. That's what was already approved by the Senate. This will be a 10-second vote because it's going to pass in 10 seconds. Then 9/15, Chuck Schumer gives us a firm date of recon substantive going to a vote. Why asterisk next to the letter H, House? Because there's a new report that says maybe they'll start on the House side, not the Senate side, which I love. Why do I love that? Because the committee that's writing the legislation are the House subcommittees, number one. Number two, House Democrats always give you more money. Number three, House is more progressive than the Senate Democrats, so they're likely to give you more money. Finally, I like it starting in the House because if the House puts all this big money in there, it's pretty easy for the senators just to validate it rather than invalidate it. And if the senators want to add more money, they will during the vote-a-rama. Finally, recon, final vote. There is a proposed date, not confirmed, of 9/30. All right, let's go to recon substantive. Recon substantive, as you know, is where those committees determine how to spend the money. We've heard a lot about what they want to spend the money potentially on, but they're writing the legislation now, and that's why I brought back Seats for Stimulus. Seats for Stimulus is a social media campaign from 2020 of this channel, spelled that way, hashtag seats, the number 4 stimulus, which basically says, give us the right stimulus or we're taking your seat. And guess what? It's working, because now all the major news outlets are talking about, well, their House seats are up for grabs right when they're about to, decide this. Or they're campaigning back at home to get reelected right when they're deciding this. How many House seats are up for grab this November? 6. 6 could determine the balance of power in the House. The House could go Republican, or the House could go much more Democratic. And then the year after that, 34 of 100 seats are up for grabs. So you need to push Purple Power, go on social media, and push for these big money. Finally, I'm really excited for the viewers of this channel, because now they're realizing that the biggest sums of money under these third stimulus packages, and previously the second stimulus packages, are these items that the government set forth all these monies for you to get. And these big monies the government set out for you to apply for, the government says, I will pay for. I will pay your SNAP at a 15% increase. I'll pay for your utilities. I'll pay for your rent. And I adore that viewers have taken the information from this channel and developed the skill set to pounce as Purple Hawks and get the big money that is application-based under third stimulus. You know why I love it, is because fourth stimulus is knocking on the door. And when fourth stimulus becomes law, you'll be able to do the same thing even bigger. We've done this before. There are people who got these sums of money on second stimulus, and when third stimulus came out and was even bigger, then they pounced again. But when fourth stimulus comes out, it's a game changer, because it's the biggest payout of checks we've ever seen. 3.5 trillion of them. And guess what? When they come out, and you, as a Purple Hawk, as a subscriber, as a member, who have already done this before, gotten money application-based from a stimulus package, when fourth stimulus comes out and it says, oh, we're dedicating $1 billion to this program, and you listen, you're like, I qualify for that. I know how to do this because I've done this before. I'm going to apply and pounce. You're going to get the money first. Because it's first come, first serve. Where someone somewhere else will say, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of eating my sugar-coated, sprinkled donut. Is this money coming in my bank account? When is it coming? How do I update my bank account so it comes direct deposit? And you're going to be looking back and going, it's not application. It's application-based. It's not automatically into your bank account. So if you don't apply, thank you, because I'm going to get the money for myself and my family. And that's how it's going to work. Also, I love the mindset of people, because now, if you watch the live chats, it's wonderful how people who maybe in December or November said, oh, there's no money unless, and then they had these sort of preconceived notions. If I'm single, I don't get money. If I'm old, I don't get money. If I have green hair, I don't get money. If I have blue hair, I don't get money. Now people have really gotten those preconceived notions away, gotten them out of the context, because they see people in the live chat saying, no, I'm on SSI. So what you have learned is that people on benefits get checks. People qualify for this money. People who have jobs qualify for this money. People who are not behind on bills can still qualify for the money. People who are seniors can qualify for the money. And when you learn these skill sets to pounce for the big money, then you learn that this big money is there. It's no time or place for anyone to say, I just want this because I don't qualify for anything. That's hogwash. 9 out of 10 viewers. In fact, I say 9 out of 10 just to be sort of cautious. I've never seen a single viewer who doesn't qualify for something. 9 out of 10 viewers qualify for everything in these stimulus packages, unless it's something very, very particular. And they're very rare. The particularity of them ended in 2020. 21, they've been very, very broad written. So pounce and get that big money. Finally, here's a personal message, which is, I value your safety. I value your being informed. And one of the things that sometimes happens with platforms is that sometimes platforms have the ability to grow And when they grow, the platform doesn't have the technical backbone to certain things. One of the things on the that you've noticed that I changed in the last 7 days is I've switched from allowing any comment that passes spam filter to post on the website on the channel to now holding comments until approval. And I don't approve a lot of comments because I just don't have time, you know. In the back end, there could be a particular video and the video could have 2,000-3,000 comments and maybe I only approve 4 or 5. Why? Because I value your safety. And over the last 6 months, you've seen the surge of people trying to sell you over WhatsApp some crypto thing, or, you know, trying to, you know, ask you to send them money overseas. And the resurgence of this has caused a lot of YouTube channels to try to figure out, how do I block it? And we try everything, and we're running out of ways to block certain things. And so because I value your safety, I've now put comments on restriction mode. And that's why I'm only approving a certain number of comments. If you're a subscriber, if you're a member, I'm going right to your comments first to green light them first. And then I also, if I have time, then I green light some non-member comments. Also, it's important because of the following. It's important as we get to the finish line that we get fake narratives out there. And I noticed that there were some people who just love going online and spreading fake narratives. And this is what would happen, is a Purple Hawk member would say something like, Lalate, I'm having problems finding money for rent in Tennessee. Someone would post that, like a Purple Hawk. And then I can see on the back end, it's not a member, it's not even a subscriber, it's not even basically a viewer, it's just someone who floats through, says there's no money in Tennessee, your governor hates you. And they'll post these crazy things, and then people will hear and it's like, really? And immediately that viewer who should have gotten rent now saw a comment from someone who they believe was correct, saying that there's no money in Tennessee, does not apply for Tennessee. That is something that I don't like. It's something that turns the platform reverse. So for that reason, that's why you see 5, 10, 20 comments posted on a video. Not because there's 20 comments. There's 2,000-3,000 on the back end. I just don't have time to approve all of them. But I'm doing that to protect your safety, because it's important that you get the big sums of money, that you're not influenced by external things from overseas and strange WhatsApp people, and make sure that it's a safe, clean environment. I value your safety, and I value being informed. And with that, I look forward to seeing you next on Overnight's Crypto. Overnight's Crypto currently playing live on the channel. Then I'm back on live with you at 9 a.m. with Mornings LA. Then after that, at 9:45, Mornings Crypto, and then noontime at 11 a.m. And always jump in the live chat, and I'll answer, and I'll see you in the live chat as well. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful morning, and stay with LA for more.